Hello, good morning, and welcome to Joy News Interactive. We're live from Digital Just GA 09925339 in Kumimla Accra on DSTV channel 41 and Go TV channel 144 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're Joy News on TV. On YouTube, we're My Joy Online TV. All right, send us a WhatsApp message on our tablet 0540 10909. That is 0540 10909. I'm Abita CBD. Thank you so much for your company. Now, as of 1985, the Ghanaian law permits abortion in cases of rape, incest, or the defilement of a female if the life of the health or the health of the woman is in danger, or if there's a risk of fetal abnormality. Now, despite the fairly liberal abortion law, unsafe abortion remains common in Ghana. It is the second most common cause of maternal mortality, accounting for 11% maternal deaths in the country. Now, legal abortions are criminal offences subject to at most 5 years in prison for the pregnant woman who induced the said abortion, as well as for any doctor or other person who assisted this pregnant woman in accessing or carrying out the abortion. Now, Justice Avril Lovelace Johnson wants the law to be lenient on abortion. According to her, people should be given the opportunity to decide whether to keep the baby or not.
Pro-choice. But pro-choice does not necessarily mean you support abortion. If you look at the law on abortion, even the law on abortion gives you a choice in the matter. So, for instance, the law, if I remember correctly, I haven't looked at it for a while, but it says you can choose to have an abortion if the pregnancy is as a result of rape. If a doctor says that the pregnancy will affect your health, you can choose to have an abortion. And then I think it's an unfortunate description, but I think the law says a woman with, I forget this, but like if the person has a mental issue.
Imbecile, that's the
imbecile. It's so unfortunate. That is the most unfortunate description. But it says that if a woman has a mental problem and gets pregnant, you can choose to have an abortion. Now, I am pro-choice so that I can choose life if I want. But if I say I'm pro-life, I have no choice in the matter. And even the good Lord gives us a choice in the way we lead our lives, so long as we are ready for the consequences. So yes, I am pro-choice, which means you have a choice to make decisions relating to your sexual and reproductive health.
Now, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, are you pro-choice, pro-life? Being pro-choice means that you think that everyone has a choice to, do whatever they want to do with their bodies. After all, it's their bodies. But you've been reacting to this, interestingly, on Facebook. And we've got some very interesting comments coming in. Let's check them out. All right, this one is from S. Samuel, who says, lenient on abortion, willful or in life-threatening situations. The wages of sin is death, and he that sinneth, he shall face the eternal judgment and not Supreme Court judge. Fonzo Hunter says, when they go to the West for education, these are the things they bring back home, but they don't want to see the development in the West to implement them here. In the West, the citizens have the right to impeach the president just for misconduct. But do we have that right here? If a nation is governed well and the people are living well, who will want to have an abortion? Isaac Safo says, I really don't understand these arguments. If you don't want to have a child, then don't get pregnant. Don't open your legs anyhow to anyone. Also, there are several contraceptives out there. Why get pregnant to decide then you aren't ready to have the baby? So the best option is abortion. What about putting the baby up for adoption, orphanage homes, etc.? And I also think this is kind of a flawed comment, because not all of the people that have abortions are because they got pregnant with someone they love, or they had sex and they got pregnant with someone they love. Some of them were raped. Some of them, it was just they're not ready. So, I mean, it's also kind of flawed. So you can't say that don't open your legs and you'll be fine. Use contraceptives, you'll be fine. Some were raped, and they really can't do anything about it. Some were raped, and they don't want to keep the babies. And if you're talking about orphanages and giving them up for adoption, the system in Ghana, how viable is it? Is it good for you to give up your child for abortion. We have seen many children on the roads of Accra, in the streets of Accra, that were abandoned by their parents. And you will look upon them and you'll be like, okay, so what is this child doing? But because they couldn't have them, the adoption system in Ghana may not be working. It may not work well. The orphanage may not work well. So, I mean, I think that's kind of a flawed comment there. But let's check out more of those comments. This one's from @Mark, who says, what about the choice of the unborn child? Shouldn't you be speaking for the weak and the vulnerable? Nafisa says, thank you so much, madam. A woman has every right to decide if she wants to keep the baby or not. If only people knew how many women are losing their lives because they can't walk into a hospital to have an abortion. Hashtag I am pro-choice. @Kofite, Marley says, even the use of condoms and emergency contraceptives are tantamount to abortion. When the law is lenient, people will seek safer means. Prince Odinga says, unless in cases of rape and when the mom's life is at risk, abortion shouldn't be allowed. Prince Redu says, the opportunity is already there, just use a condom. Okra Freeman says, I personally advocate this campaign. In fact, certain circumstances such as rape, incest, etc., resulting to pregnancies should be permitted by the laws to be aborted because such mothers and their children used to suffer public stigma. Sandra Ofori says, people should also decide on whether to have sex or not. We can't choose and pick what we want just to suit our wicked intentions. Belinda says, I support you 100%. Because of this restrictive laws, women tend to do strange things. This all in the name of society will judge me and end up maiming themselves, blaming themselves, or dying in the process. We all have our religious sentiments, but you will probably understand if you lose a loved one through unsafe abortion. If you stay in a community where young ladies are dying and you see the things I see at work, then you will understand, like Belinda is saying. Duka says, wonderful points and valid arguments. This one is from @Albati, who says, I think the way she's explaining it is satisfactory. And Isaac Young Kruma says, I agree with her perfectly. The law must be lenient on this. All right, we've been finding out from people on the streets of Accra what they think about this, and this is what they had to say.
I can't say much about that, but if that would make the people like okay, I think they should think about making it lenient a bit, not that much, but a bit.
Honestly, I think it should be more strict. Yes, because if care is not taken, the young ladies will be found doing all sort of things. No, the little advantage we have, we used to do a lot of things. So honestly, an abortion is not a good thing. It takes life, it kills. So it should be more strict. Yes.
For me, I think that we should stop any law about that abortion thing because now the way that we are, we plan before we do things. So if maybe the pregnancy comes at a time that you are not expecting it, you have to just do something to get the plan done.
Probably our experience at the bar, the only set of people who are truly often sentenced to death are those who have been proven to have, they themselves committed murder or killed somebody else. Right? Maybe at the first instance you may have made a mistake. Second, there's an appeal, final appeal. At the end of it, the evidence is very clear. The person has truly ended the life of another one. Is he not then liable to die, he or himself?
We say truly. We've had many cases after several years. At least that's what I've seen on TV about the U.S., happening in the U.S. People have been sentenced, served over 30 years imprisonment. At that time, there was no DNA. Now it's realized that they were not guilty. A human being is always capable of making a mistake. Do not take somebody's life. Because if you take the life, you cannot correct it. Death is final. So for that reason alone, I'm anti the death penalty.
Well, we haven't changed the law yet. So.
Not yet. Fortunately, I don't think we execute people. Thank God.
Yes, Honorable.
That's Justice Avril Lovelace Johnson there on the death penalty. On that note, we're going to take a quick breather. We'll be back with more. You're welcome back from the breather. You're still watching Journeys Interactive with myself, Mapita CBD. Now, the 2020 elections may suffer from historical levels of apathy, with the governing New Patriotic Party losing ground among Ghanaians who say they will vote and have a preference. Now, the latest CDD Afrobarometer survey report released shows that 11% of respondents say they will not vote. From those who say they will vote and have a preference, majority say they'll vote for the NPP, a lead of 12% over the main opposition, NDC. Now, the details, however, show that the NPP's lead has shrunk by 15 points compared to survey responses in 2017 when the party came to power. If we can just pull up that graphic and you can see what I am talking about. All right, so whom would you vote for? Okay, so 34% say NPP, 22% are for NDC, 1% are CPP, 1% also for PPP. Now, 11% say they would not vote, 90% say they refuse to answer, and 12% say they don't know. So if presidential elections were held tomorrow, which party's candidate would you vote for? Let's go to the streets of Accra and see what she had to say.
It's really a difficult question because honestly, I don't know. I don't know. You see, right now, Ghana is not really an easy place to be. Things are quite difficult. But then, well, maybe the person who is on can be given another chance to make things right. So for me, I don't know. I just don't know, honestly.
For me, I would think maybe I'll still let the parliament, the government which is in place, still be in place, because I can see that now the market women are okay because of the free education system. So I think he can maintain it for some time for people to also get their income to settle up things.
I'm not sure, because for some time now I've not voted for anyone, and because things are not really working out, so I'm not sure I'll vote for anyone.
Well, I really do not have any party in mind to vote for tomorrow. If elections should be held tomorrow, I don't think I might go to the election ground to go and vote. Yes.
Let's go to Facebook and see what you had to say about that. This one's from Prince Nana Kwame Boachi, who says, and honestly, both parties have not yet convinced floating voters to swing for the victory. If floating voter lose confidence in these two, then what is the next credible alternative? Vicanis Major says, it's serious how about 32% of citizens are not prepared or have not decided to vote. We are trending on dangerous grounds because this percentage is a recipe for disaster in the country. All right, politicians must be worried. But if the 32% of the population rise up, it will be serious in this country. Eben says, fuel prices have been increased. Dollars almost 6 Ghana cedis. That's what matters to me, and not the Afrobarometer. Kofi comes in to say that the survey agrees with my common sense perception of 2020. I'm a floating voter. Going into 2020, there's no better alternative to the governing party. However, I am 60% likely not going to vote in 2020 if a greater part of my investments locked up with fund managers is not gotten. I will not be encouraged to go and queue to vote. The ruling party is highly likely to win through the hard way. Robbie says, I totally agree with this report. The 2020 election will record the lowest turnout in the history of this country. However, it will be a one-touch victory for Nana Addo. Abdullah says, I'll vote for NDC. Nana Addo has nothing new to do. What he's doing is just his best of choices, and we're not forced to sit him down, for him to enrich his family and friends and to make his family the most popular family in this country. Are we fools? Ooh. Flint Honor says, I think Ghanaians saw our last hope with the NPP and were either disappointed at the outcome or just impatient enough to wait to see things unfold. We're losing interest in elections in general. Isaac Fifi says, very simple. The NPP cannot secure a first round victory. The NDC is winning. The 2020 elections just happened in 2008, yeah. All the NDC needs is a feasible manifesto, okay, and a truthful running mates. Now, many Ghanaians have expressed discomfort on the recent 1% increase in fuel prices. New charges at fueling stations across the nation took effect from 7 p.m. last Friday. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana has attributed the increment to recent fast depreciation of the cedi from 5.53 to around 5.710 forward rates in a statement released earlier yesterday. Meanwhile, some Ghanaians who spoke to Joy News are expressing disappointment in government for overseeing the move.
When fuel prices are high, everything is high, because as the marketer or the woman in the market selling, going out to buy, he or she by all means take car, and then the things that he or she is going to buy, he or she will depend on the transport and then increase whatever he or she is selling, because all involved in the fuel, and the fuel is the one that moving the country. When fuel prices are high, everything becomes low, you see. Because when the city is strong, everything will be okay. But as we speak now, you can see cedi rate to the dollar. The dollar is running faster than the cedi.
3-4 years ago, we have a particular people, when as the prices being the increase, you know, they try to collaborate with passengers plus the drivers. But things have changed. So I think the government needs to be proactive on certain measures, because day in and day out, prices being increased, it affects a lot of people, my brother. So I don't know what is next.
No, 1%, 2%. On 24 years, imagine.
Now, drivers in the capital have expressed mixed feelings on the possibility of increasing fares to meet the new fuel price.
They don't do anything about it for a while, and we see that what is going on is still, yeah, we will do something about it. I want to tell the government that the pressure on town is very hot, so he should do something to, calm the system down.
Oh, fairly the Erika to my winty, neither say betty myself to me. To my way to a month to Messiah, the Messiah, the Backup. Now 1% the sentiment to fair. Yeah, very useful, sir.
And that's how we end Joy News Interactive here on the Joy News channel, on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram with Joy News on TV. Thank you so much for spending your 30 minutes with me. See you tomorrow again, same time, same place.